When it comes to Drake, honestly, I don't even know where to begin with this situation anymore. Because what just entered the headlines is so massive and so perfectly timed that it almost feels unreal. Drake has officially been named in a federal RICO lawsuit alongside Adin, Akademics, and several others. Not a regular civil case, not another defamation argument, a federal RICO case. The type of case usually associated with organized criminal operations, coordinated fraud, and long-term illegal activity involving multiple people. And if you want to understand why this could become the single most damaging legal situation of Drake's career, leave a like, subscribe, and let's break everything down.
Because what makes this completely different from every other lawsuit Drake has dealt with is the meaning behind a federal RICO filing itself. This isn't about one bad moment or one isolated accusation. A RICO case exists to prove that multiple individuals allegedly worked together inside a structured criminal operation over an extended period of time. And according to this filing, the operation connected to Drake's partnership with Stake allegedly functioned like a giant pyramid-style system designed to artificially inflate Drake's streaming dominance from the ground up. Honestly, if even part of these allegations end up holding weight, Iceman might genuinely deserve to be renamed Botman. And what makes this even more brutal is what it suddenly reveals about everything Drake's side spent the last 2 years accusing Kendrick Lamar of doing. Every complaint about bots, every accusation about fake streams, every claim about manipulated algorithms and industry favoritism, all of it now feels completely different in hindsight. Because according to this lawsuit, Drake may have been describing his own operation the entire time. What originally sounded like accusations now looks much closer to projection, and now there's a federal filing making those accusations impossible to ignore.
Let's go directly into the details. Sports and gambling attorney Daniel Wallach, who first highlighted the story publicly, described it as a federal RICO class action targeting Stake and Drake over an allegedly illegal online gambling system disguised as a sweepstakes platform. And beyond the gambling allegations, Drake is specifically accused of using Stake's infrastructure to artificially boost the streaming numbers of his own music across every major platform. This isn't just internet gossip. This is a federal legal filing containing documented allegations and financial transactions listed directly inside the complaint. The lawsuit names Drake, Adin, and the individual behind Akademics TV as co-defendants. According to the filing, all three allegedly used Stake's tipping system, described as an unregulated money transfer mechanism operating outside traditional oversight, to move funds between participants while financing a coordinated fake streaming operation. Through those systems, the defendants allegedly paid for fraudulent streams of Drake's music, manipulated popularity metrics, targeted competitors and executives, and interfered with recommendation algorithms that determine what music gets pushed toward real listeners.
And at the center of the allegations, the filing claims Drake, directly and through collaborators, used automated bots and professional streaming farms to artificially increase play counts across platforms, including Spotify, which suddenly makes Drake publicly complaining about Spotify a few weeks ago sound incredibly ironic. According to the lawsuit, these fake streams allegedly manipulated royalty systems, distorted charts and playlists, and redirected streaming revenue away from legitimate artists toward Drake's inflated numbers instead. And the financial evidence described in the complaint is surprisingly specific. One publicly documented transaction mentioned in the lawsuit is a $100,000 tip transfer between Drake and Adin back in 2023, processed through Stake's tipping system specifically because it allegedly avoided normal financial oversight. Then, just days before the lawsuit was officially filed, Drake reportedly gifted Adin a car worth around $220,000. According to the complaint, transactions like these allegedly formed part of the financial backbone keeping the entire botting and engagement operation running behind the scenes.
And Stake's role in all of this is what reportedly pushes the situation beyond music industry controversy and into federal territory. According to the filing, Stake's platform allegedly functioned like a hidden financial pipeline that concealed transactions and disguised withdrawals in ways that made the movement of money difficult to trace publicly, which allegedly allowed payments connected to the streaming operation to stay hidden from regulators, auditors, and streaming platforms for years. According to the lawsuit, the operation wasn't just fraudulent, it was specifically designed to avoid detection. And now that same system is sitting inside a federal RICO complaint.
And when you combine this with everything else Drake has already been accused of, the RBX lawsuit allegations, suspicious streaming clusters, unusual VPN routing activity, what's happening now is multiple independent legal complaints arriving at the exact same conclusion from completely different angles. That Drake's streaming dominance may not have been built entirely on genuine audience demand, but instead on a coordinated system of manipulation operating behind the scenes for years.
And honestly, the scale being alleged here is unlike anything the music industry has seen before. Small-scale botting and playlist manipulation have existed for years inside streaming culture. But according to this filing, what's being described is something far larger. A coordinated operation allegedly involving a major rapper, a global gambling platform, influential media personalities, and bot operators all working together over a long period of time to manipulate streams, fraudulently inflate popularity, and redirect money inside the streaming economy itself. And one of the strangest details inside the complaint involves the person behind Akademics TV reportedly operating out of Australia the entire time while presenting themselves online as an authentic voice within hip-hop culture, which honestly becomes a lot more revealing when you think about how disconnected much of that platform's commentary often felt from actual culture itself. According to the filing, it wasn't about protecting hip-hop at all. It was allegedly about protecting the operation.
And the financial cycle described inside the lawsuit is important to understand clearly. According to the complaint, Drake allegedly moved money through Stake's unregulated systems toward bot operators. Those bots generated fake streams. Those streams inflated Drake's percentage of the total streaming royalty pool. That larger payout allegedly funded even more botting and manipulation, creating a continuous, self-sustaining fraud loop. And according to the lawsuit, the people losing money in that process were legitimate artists whose real streams became diluted by Drake's artificial numbers. And that's the part people really need to understand. This is not just a Drake story anymore. According to these allegations, every independent artist, every upcoming rapper, every songwriter trying to build something organically may have been competing against an artificially manipulated system. Every fake stream allegedly redirected money away from real musicians. Every inflated metric allegedly made it harder for genuine artists to survive financially. If these allegations are true, then one of the reasons newer artists have struggled so heavily in the streaming era may have been because a massive fraud operation was allegedly absorbing an unfair percentage of the system itself. And for anybody still insisting Drake's financial situation proves he would never need something like this, real billionaires operating from genuine financial strength usually do not commit fraud on this scale. Allegedly. According to the lawsuit, this looks much less like confidence and much more like somebody desperately maintaining the illusion of dominance, because the moment the manipulation stops, the entire structure underneath it begins collapsing. Because this lawsuit creates an extremely uncomfortable question about Drake's entire business history. If the streaming numbers used to justify his commercial value were allegedly manipulated, then what was any of it actually worth? The reported $400 million UMG deal was supposedly built around metrics that are now part of a federal fraud complaint. Future contract negotiations, royalty calculations, Drake's entire financial profile, all of it suddenly becomes questionable if the numbers themselves were artificially inflated. And suddenly, the Not Like Us lawsuit starts making much more sense too. Throughout that entire case, Drake spoke with incredibly specific detail about bots, fake streams, and manipulated algorithms. At the time, people noticed how oddly technical his accusations sounded. Now, after reading this filing, those accusations look very different. Because according to the complaint, Drake may have been describing systems he already understood personally from the inside. And honestly, this lawsuit reveals something much deeper about Drake's mindset around competition. Because if artificial inflation allegedly became central to maintaining his dominance, then watching Kendrick Lamar succeed organically might genuinely look impossible from Drake's perspective. Real success would appear suspicious to somebody operating inside manipulated systems for years. And honestly, that possibility explains more about Drake's obsession with bots and fake streams during the Kendrick battle than almost anything else we've seen. And Adin Ross being named centrally inside this complaint changes the context around everything that ecosystem has done in hip-hop over the last several years. Because Adin spent years accusing artists like Doechii of being industry plants and benefiting from fake support.
Meanwhile now, according to this federal filing, he's allegedly connected to one of the largest fake streaming operations the industry has ever seen, which suddenly makes all those accusations toward other artists sound less like commentary and more like projection. And honestly, we probably still don't fully understand how deep this situation goes yet. The allegations are detailed, the accusations are serious, and if federal investigators expand things further, additional names and systems could absolutely emerge. But one thing already feels clear: the people named in this complaint are facing extremely serious legal problems. And if even part of these allegations are proven true in court, the fallout across streaming, labels, and the broader music industry could become enormous.
The closest comparison, honestly, would be discovering that the biggest movies in history secretly inflated their own box office numbers. Because entire industries make financial decisions based on those metrics. Contracts, investments, marketing budgets, royalty structures, all of it depends on the assumption that the numbers are real. And if the most commercially dominant rapper alive allegedly manipulated those numbers for years, then the entire music industry suddenly has to reevaluate itself from the ground up. And from UMG's perspective specifically, this creates an impossible situation. Because if the label discovers the artist they invested the most money into allegedly manipulated the exact metrics used to determine his value, then every future contract negotiation changes completely. Every royalty audit changes, every streaming agreement changes, and the reputational damage from that alone could affect the entire industry for years moving forward.
Because according to the lawsuit, Stake's partnership with Drake is what allegedly made this entire operation possible at such scale. A normal financial institution would likely have triggered oversight or investigations. But the filing claims Stake's systems allegedly provided the exact kind of hidden infrastructure needed to move money quietly while disguising the operation publicly. And honestly, if these allegations are true, the fact that Drake and Stake ended up connected tells you a lot about both sides underneath the public image they tried presenting. And if UMG eventually confirms Drake manipulated the streaming systems determining his commercial value, the consequences for the entire music business are going to be severe. Labels will demand stricter auditing, streaming platforms will tighten verification systems, artist performance data will face heavier scrutiny across the board. And ironically, the people hurt most by all that increased suspicion won't be Drake. It'll be legitimate artists who never manipulated anything in the first place.
And honestly, that's the most frustrating part of this entire situation. If these allegations are true, the people paying the longest-term price won't even be the people accused of running the operation. It'll be independent musicians, upcoming artists, and smaller creators trying to build real careers honestly. Every legitimate artist will face more skepticism because Drake allegedly damaged the credibility of streaming numbers themselves. Every new artist entering the industry will now face a system that's more suspicious, more difficult, and less trusting because somebody decided real artistry alone wasn't enough. And the music industry itself helped create the conditions for this by becoming obsessed with metrics above everything else. Stream counts, chart positions, algorithmic rankings. Quantified numbers became more important than genuine artistry and real cultural impact. And when an industry becomes built entirely around numbers, eventually somebody powerful enough figures out how to manipulate those numbers directly. The only real surprise is that it took this long for a scandal this massive to surface publicly.
And while there's understandable satisfaction in finally watching accountability potentially arrive, because many people suspected something strange about Drake's streaming dominance for years, that satisfaction also comes with consequences. Because if this case continues moving forward, the revelations coming out of it are probably going to affect far more people than Drake alone, and the structural changes created afterward are going to impact artists who genuinely deserve better, not just the people allegedly responsible for this mess. And ultimately, both Drake and the system that helped build him made their choices. They prioritized manufactured dominance over genuine artistry. Numbers became more important than music itself, and this is where that path eventually leads. So let me know what you think about this lawsuit and what you believe the long-term consequences could become. What does a federal RICO designation actually mean for Drake moving forward? And what does the music industry even look like after something this massive? Leave your thoughts below, subscribe if you made it this far, and check out the suggested video to see how Doechii recently addressed the battle between real artistry and manufactured success better than almost anyone else this year.